the Mavs practiced on Tuesday, and Carlisle didn't say a lot, but afterwards he said, everything's on the table at this point. When he talked about the Mavericks trying to catch the Trailblazers or the Lakers for a 6 seed. And this is from Callie Kaplan, Dallas Morning News. That includes lineup changes, but Carlisle wouldn't divulge his thinking on Tuesday after practice. Quote from Carlisle, as we used to say when I was on TV, stay tuned. All right, Isaac Harris, what's the change? We've talked about, and I mentioned this before, JJ Redick starting for Josh Richardson. I don't know that it's the starting lineup that's the problem. The starting lineup has a good net rating. They had 2 awful games against the Knicks and against the Kings, and that really took them down over this last week. You're seeing numbers thrown all around on Twitter about how they're an awful defensive group and all that. That's mostly just from these last 2 games that they were really bad. Should the starting lineup be changed based on those 2 awful games alone, or has this been coming for a while?
No, I don't think it's based off 2 games. I think Rick has shown that he's not, that reactionary, but I think it's something
we know this for sure. He's not reactionary in the least.
Yeah, I think it's been culminating for a bit. If there is a starting lineup change, and I think it's only a couple options that could be out there. I think the obvious one we've been talking about is JJ Redick in for Josh Richardson. Do they want to put Brunson into the starting unit in place of Josh Richardson? And honestly, he's been he has a ton of energy, but do they want to try to do the KP back at the 4 and Dwight Powell at the 5 again? So that's one of the.
I'm gonna go with no on that one because Maxey has been the only defensive saving grace for that front court, I believe, this season.
I agree with. I'm just trying to process some other options out there, but I think those first 2 would be more obvious ones.
So yeah, the obvious changes are: could it be to the starting lineup? I don't think so. I think that group is going to stay the way that it is, personnel reasons, all that, and it's been a good unit overall. The last 2 games have been really rough, but overall it's been good.
They could get off to better starts, though.
They could get off to better starts for sure. So maybe, and that unit isn't even closing games either.
Exactly.
So what it's kind of a weird situation there. But is it a change where Josh Richardson starts to defend the best perimeter player no matter what, right? We haven't seen that too often. It's been Dorian most of the time, or Luka sometimes. Like Luka was guarding Fox more than Richardson guarded Fox. Is that a type of change? Is that the change that works? It's a matchup change instead of necessarily a lineup change. Is it something about who plays the most? If we look up, the Mavericks over the last, let's look up since April 1st. Let's look up who's playing the most. So you have the obvious usual suspects, the top 7, Luka, Porzingis, Dorian, Richardson, Kleba, Brunson, Hardaway Jr. And then you have Melly, who's played in 8 of the 10 games. He's played 17 minutes a game. Boban has played just in 2 games. He's played 15 minutes a game in those 2 games. Dwight has appeared in all 10 games, but he only plays 14 minutes. Redick has only appeared in 4 games, 12 minutes. So is it like one of these guys that starts getting some more time, right? Is that a type of change that can happen? Let's say they did do that. Let's say they wanted, all right, we're going to add Melly or Boban or Dwight or I guess it's a top 8 because Dwight has played in all the games. So we're going to add a guy or take Dwight out to this rotation. Who do you think it would be? For Dwight or in addition to Dwight even?
I don't think Dwight Powell's leaving the rotation anytime soon.
I don't think so either.
I think he's played well lately. We know they love him, and his energy has been very infectious to the team. So I think it's more taking some people out. Like if Melly didn't play over the next couple of games, like I wouldn't be shocked in that.
Yeah. So adding, I guess you would add him to the rotation a little bit because it seems like he's just been, he appeared in the game, but he only played 1 minute against the Kings, right? It's not like he's been in a rotation really. Trey Burke is a guy that's kind of been in and out. He's sort of an option. We've talked about the rookies a lot, but I don't think that they're going to go down that route. And it would just be Josh Green at this point if he was going to go down that route, but I don't think that. Redick is the guy, right? Maybe to start him or even just to add him to the rotation a little bit more. He's playing 8 minutes a game. I want to look up exactly. It seems like he's been so up and down with his minutes, but in each game, but he's the guy that they would add to the rotation. Yeah, he played 13 minutes, 14 minutes, 17, and 4. Those are the minutes in each game. So adding him to the rotation a little more full time, and maybe it's an injury thing coming back, But I think that would be the change that he makes, either starting him or closing games with him or something like that.
I agree.